Welcome back, fellow seekers of the shadows. You've tuned into Stories of Crime, the place where the veil between the mundane and the monstrous is brutally ripped away. Tonight, we aren't just reading a report. We are opening a file, marked top priority, tucked away in the darkest corner of the archives. We're going to step across that chalk line and peer into the void, where human nature meets its most terrifying extremes. In this hour, the street lights flicker, the shadows deepen, and the truth is often far more chilling than any fiction you could invent. Forget the heroes. Tonight, we focus on the villains. On the motives that curdle the blood, and the consequences that echo forever. So, dim the lights. Lock your doors. Take a deep, steadying breath, because once the story begins, there's no turning back. This is Stories of Crime. And the case we're unfolding tonight is The Secret of Chimneys. Look. Welcome, listeners, to a deep dive into the foundational art of captivating an audience. Today, we peel back the layers of the very first chapter, the crucial hook, from Agatha Christie's intriguing The Secret of Chimneys. Think of your story's opening as a master key, designed not just to unlock a door, but to fling it wide open, revealing a tantalizing glimpse of the world within. It's more than merely an introduction, it is a promise, a whisper of intrigue, and an irresistible invitation. The hook is where the magic truly begins, where the invisible thread of curiosity snags the listener and pulls them gently, yet firmly, into the narrative. It's the moment your audience decides, almost subconsciously, whether they're in for the long haul or if their attention will drift away like smoke on the wind. Christie, a grand mistress of suspense, understood this implicitly. She didn't just open a book, she opened a window into a conspiracy, a labyrinth of secrets and shadows. We're not just discussing plot points today, we're dissecting the very architecture of engagement, learning how to build an opening that resonates long after the initial words have faded. Let's begin with the first vital element of Christie's masterful opening, the strategic use of sensory experience and sharp contrast. Open with the sound of a bustling African marketplace fading into the quiet rustle of dangerous papers. Conceptual explanation: this technique is a masterclass in sensory immersion and abrupt tonal transition. It immediately transports the listener, not just through geographical space but also through an emotional landscape. The initial bustling marketplace evokes a sense of vibrant chaos, life, and perhaps even freedom or anonymity. It's an auditory and visual assault, full of unique sounds and smells, a world away from the genteel English country house that will soon become the story's focus. The sudden, almost jarring fade into the quiet rustle of dangerous papers represents a dramatic shift. This isn't just about sound, it's about atmosphere. The quiet implies secrecy, the rustle suggests movement, handling, perhaps even frantic searching or concealment. And the descriptor dangerous isn't merely an adjective, it's a direct shot of foreboding, injecting an immediate sense of peril and high stakes without a single explicit mention of what that danger entails. It's a deft hand painting a vivid picture, then subtly twisting the palette to a darker hue. This opening doesn't tell you there's a mystery, it shows you, through a carefully orchestrated sequence of sensory experiences, that you are about to step into something significant, something clandestine. Practical example from The Secret of Chimneys. Christie masterfully employs this with the introduction of our initial protagonist, Anthony Cade. We meet him amidst the vibrant, almost overwhelming sensory explosion of a bustling African marketplace. Picture the calls of vendors, the haggling, the foreign tongues, the myriad smells of spices and dust and animals. It's a sensory overload that paints a vivid, exotic backdrop for his character, a man seemingly unburdened, adventurous, far from the conventions of English society. Then, with a stark shift, this cacophony of life retreats. The narrative perspective narrows, and we are brought into the close, hushed world of documents. These aren't just any papers, they are the private memoirs of a deceased king, a collection rumored to contain explosive political secrets. The marketplace's vibrancy gives way to the solemn, almost sacred silence of these papers, their pages whispering of scandals, power plays, and international intrigue. It's the juxtaposition of Anthony's seemingly carefree life in a chaotic setting with the weighty, quiet threat encapsulated within those pages that immediately hooks the listener. The transformation is complete, from an exotic travelogue to the precipice of a dangerous conspiracy. Why it matters? This opening tactic achieves several critical objectives simultaneously. Firstly, it establishes a broad introduction. Welcome, dear listener, to a journey into the heart of mystery, a foray into the grand tradition of the English country house thriller, interwoven with threads of international intrigue and complex political machination. Forget quiet tea parties and gentle village gossip. The Secret of Chimneys by Agatha Christie invites us into a world far more dangerous than its genteel facade suggests. Here, in the hallowed halls of a sprawling estate, secrets are not merely whispered, they are buried, sometimes quite literally, beneath layers of deceit and desire. We embark on an adventure that will challenge our assumptions, test our wits, and ultimately reveal the profound cleverness of the Queen of Crime herself. Prepare to peel back the layers of a truly captivating narrative, where every character holds a piece of a larger, perilous puzzle. This is an invitation to become a detective in your own right, to notice the subtle clues, to question the obvious, and to savor the intricate dance of deception and revelation. We stand on the threshold of Chimneys, an estate pregnant with history, brimming with untold stories, and poised to unleash a tempest of secrets. Let us now delve deeper into the rich tapestry Christie has woven for us, exploring the elements that make this introduction so vital. In this audiobook, I am your trusted confidant, guiding you through the labyrinthine corridors of The Secret of Chimneys. Think of me as a seasoned investigator who has already walked these paths, deciphered cryptic messages, and understood hidden motives. My role is to illuminate intricate plot points, introduce memorable characters with nuance, and highlight Christie's storytelling craft. We will explore the psychological depths, social commentaries, and historical contexts that elevate this tale beyond a simple whodunit. My purpose is to ensure no vital clue is overlooked, no subtle hint missed, and that your appreciation for this masterful work is deepened. This is a shared intellectual partnership as we unravel the enigma of Chimneys. Real-world practical example: imagine an exclusive, behind-the-scenes tour of a grand historical estate. You're not just observing, you have an expert historian whispering fascinating anecdotes, pointing out where a clandestine meeting occurred or a secret passage was used. This expert provides context, motivation, and the human drama within those walls. Similarly, I will draw your attention to character quirks that might seem inconsequential but prove pivotal, or conversations that subtly foreshadow future events. Early mentions of Czechoslovakia or a historical document might appear as mere background. As your confidant, I will gently underscore their significance, perhaps hinting at their larger role without revealing the full plot, much like a good tour guide. Why it matters deep dive. This narrative perspective, where I serve as your confidant, is crucial. Firstly, it elevates the listening experience from passive reception to active engagement, fostering a deeper intellectual connection and encouraging critical thinking. Secondly, it allows for a more comprehensive understanding of Christie's unique narrative techniques. Her plots are incredibly intricate, with layers of misdirection and subtle clues. My insights act as a magnifying glass, bringing often overlooked details into sharp focus. Thirdly, it enriches the appreciation for The Secret of Chimneys as a foundational text in the thriller genre. By highlighting its innovations and enduring influence, we gain greater respect for Christie's contribution. This approach transforms the journey into an educational and exhilarating quest, ensuring The Secret of Chimneys is not just discovered, but truly understood. At the heart of our drama stands Anthony Cade, a wanderer with cynical charm and undeniable quickness of mind. His vagabond existence grants him a unique perspective, an outsider's keen observation, and resourcefulness born of necessity. Crucially, Anthony doesn't seek adventure, it finds him. His entry into the high-stakes world of In. Chapter 1, Anthony Cade and the Offer. Welcome, intrepid listeners, to our deep dive into Agatha Christie's The Secret of Chimneys. We begin our journey, as all great adventures often do, far from the stately homes of England, under the vast, sun-drenched skies of colonial Africa. Specifically, we find ourselves in Bulawayo, Rhodesia, now Zimbabwe, a bustling hub of early 20th century British influence, a place where fortunes were sought, and lives often took unexpected turns. This is where our protagonist, Anthony Cade, a man of casual charm and an adventurer's spirit, is about to experience the inciting incident that will wrench him from his seemingly ordinary existence and hurl him headfirst into a labyrinth of international intrigue, political conspiracies, and, quite possibly, murder. It's a classic Christie setup, a seemingly innocuous request, far from the madding crowd, that will echo with profound consequences in the heart of the British establishment. Prepare yourselves, for the curtain is about to rise on a meticulously woven tapestry of secrets and danger. Our narrative truly ignites with a chance encounter that, while appearing coincidental, possesses the distinct hand of destiny, or perhaps, careful orchestration. We observe the pivotal meeting between Anthony Cade and his old acquaintance, James McGrath, in the dusty, vibrant setting of Bulawayo. A conceptual explanation of this meeting, in storytelling, the unexpected reunion with an old friend often serves as a powerful catalyst for plot development. It provides a natural, believable conduit for information transfer or the initiation of a quest. Instead of a stranger approaching our protagonist with a dubious offer, the presence of a known, albeit not intimately known, associate immediately imbues the proposition with a layer of trust, however thin. This narrative device cleverly sidesteps the need for extensive backstory exposition regarding the proposer, allowing the plot to advance swiftly. It suggests a shared past, a forgotten connection now resurfacing, demanding attention. It's a convenient, yet effective, narrative shortcut to establishing initial credibility for what might otherwise seem an outlandish request. Let's paint a real-world practical example within our story. Picture Anthony Cade, perhaps guiding a safari, his days filled with the rhythms of the bush, or engaged in some minor entrepreneurial venture. He's a man comfortable in his own skin, adaptable, resourceful. He might be nursing a cool drink on a veranda as the African sun dips below the horizon, painting the sky in fiery hues. Suddenly, a figure approaches, a face he vaguely recognizes but can't quite place, until a name is uttered: James McGrath. McGrath, perhaps looking a touch more world-weary or driven than Anthony remembers him, carries an air of quiet urgency. Their conversation would be punctuated by reminiscences of their shared, perhaps distant, past, a military campaign, a brief period of shared hardship, a forgotten adventure. This shared history, however fleeting, provides the necessary emotional leverage. McGrath doesn't have to convince Anthony of his bona fides from scratch. He can lean on a dormant, albeit existing, foundation of familiarity. McGrath's appearance isn't casual, it feels deliberate, almost fated, implying he sought Anthony out for a very specific reason. This deliberate seeking hints at the importance of the task he is about to propose, underlining that Anthony is not just any random person. Why this meeting matters so profoundly, this seemingly innocuous reunion is the absolute linchpin of the entire narrative. Without this established connection, McGrath's subsequent proposition would either be immediately dismissed as a scam or would require far more elaborate and time-consuming efforts to gain Anthony's trust. By leveraging their prior acquaintance, Christie skillfully grounds an extraordinary request in a pre-existing, believable relationship. It normalizes the initial approach, making Anthony more susceptible to considering the offer, despite its peculiar nature. This meeting. Chapter 2, The Shadow of the Past. Chapter 2, The Shadow of the Past. Welcome back to our immersive deep dive into the labyrinthine world of Agatha Christie's The Secret of Chimneys. In Chapter 2, titled The Shadow of the Past, we begin to truly peel back the dense layers of political intrigue and personal danger that now irrevocably envelop our protagonist, Anthony Cade, and the wider ensemble cast. This chapter is a masterclass in how deeply historical grievances and long-concealed truths can ripple through time, creating profound present-day crises with far-reaching consequences. It's precisely where the seemingly disparate threads of international diplomacy, radical revolutionary movements, and a pivotal stolen manuscript begin to intricately intertwine, setting a perilous, high-stakes stage for the unfolding drama. Imagine a forgotten country, steeped in rebellion, whose very future hangs precariously by the slenderest of threads, a crucial, world-altering truth concealed within a few precious pages. Let us first delve into the tumultuous political backstory of Czechoslovakia and the immense significance of the late Count Stultich's memoirs. Czechoslovakia, though a fictional nation, powerfully mirrors many real-world Eastern European countries grappling with post-monarchical instability and burgeoning nationalist sentiments following major historical conflicts. Conceptually, Czechoslovakia represents the incredibly fragile equilibrium between Old World aristocracy and New World revolutionary fervor. It's a land perpetually on the brink of significant upheaval, where the ghost of a deposed monarchy still whispers through ancient halls, and the clamor of radical reformists shouts ever louder in the streets. The late Count Stultich was not merely a historical figure, he was a pivotal statesman, indeed an architect of his nation's contemporary political landscape. His memoirs are far more than just personal recollections, they are believed to contain explosive revelations, perhaps detailing clandestine treaties, exposing corrupt officials at the highest levels, or even unveiling the true, legitimate heir to the Czechoslovakian throne. This makes them a political weapon of unimaginable power, potent enough to rewrite history and ignite further, devastating revolutions. Think of the profound historical impact of the private diaries belonging to figures like Winston Churchill or Otto von Bismarck, revealing untold state secrets or personal vendettas that profoundly shaped global events. Stultich's writings undeniably hold that kind of transformative power. Practically, imagine a highly sensitive scenario where a long-lost document suddenly emerges, meticulously detailing how a major global power secretly funded a coup in a smaller nation decades ago. The ensuing diplomatic fallout, the demands for reparations, the questioning of current alliances, the very fabric of trust dissolving, that's the real-world echo of Stultich's memoirs. Why it matters? These memoirs are the precise pivot around which the entire political destiny of Czechoslovakia could irrevocably turn. Their publication could legitimize a claimant, delegitimize an entrenched, powerful regime, or expose a scandal so profoundly damaging it destabilizes the entire region for years. They are a ticking political time bomb, capable of shattering the fragile peace and plunging a nation already scarred by conflict into further, unprecedented chaos. The immense weight of history, meticulously encapsulated in those pages, is almost unbearable. It's not just a story, it's a potential cataclysm of truly international proportions. Now, we introduce the ominous presence of the Comrades of the Red Hand and the profound threat they undeniably pose. This organization is not some benign intellectual debating society, engaging in polite discourse. They are a radical, revolutionary faction, intensely ideologically driven and violently inclined. Conceptually, they embody the extremist elements found in nearly every political upheaval, groups fanatically willing to use any means necessary including assassinate. Chapter 3, Arrival in London. Welcome back, dear listeners, to our continued exploration of Agatha Christie's The Secret of Chimneys. In our previous chapter, we witnessed the intriguing genesis of our adventure, the serendipitous encounter that thrust Anthony Cade into a world far removed from his ordinary existence. Now, in Chapter 3, Arrival in London, we step firmly onto a new stage, one teeming with the undercurrents of international diplomacy, political ambition, and secrets waiting to unravel. This isn't just a change of scenery, it's a profound shift in tone, a transition from whimsical beginnings to the gravitas of metropolitan intrigue. We are no longer simply observers of a chance meeting, we are about to plunge headfirst into the heart of the British political establishment, where power is wielded with both finesse and brute force, and reputations hang precariously. Prepare yourselves, for the curtain is about to rise on a meticulously orchestrated drama, a high-stakes game played out in London's hallowed halls and exclusive drawing rooms. This chapter marks Anthony's true immersion into diplomatic maneuvering, a world where every gesture, every whispered word, carries immense weight. He is no longer just a delivery boy, he is a pawn, albeit unknowingly vital, in a chess match whose players are seasoned masters of manipulation. The stakes are immense: international peace, political careers, and perhaps even lives. Let us now journey with him into London, where the real game begins. Our first pivotal moment in this new landscape involves Anthony's arrival in London and his significant meeting with the ambitious politician, George Lomax. Imagine the stark contrast: Anthony, fresh from his unconventional life, now face to face with a man embodying the establishment. George Lomax is a politician of considerable influence, perhaps a junior minister, meticulously groomed for greater things. He exudes an aura of self-importance, a polished veneer of respectability barely disguising a burning ambition. Conceptually, this encounter masterfully introduces characters representing opposing worlds. Anthony, the outsider of action and simplicity, is pitted against Lomax, the insider of words and complex political calculations. This dynamic clash is crucial for narrative tension. Lomax understands the intricate dance of power, the nuances of social hierarchy, and the art of maintaining appearances. He lives where perception is reality, and a single misstep can shatter a carefully constructed career. Practically, visualize their first meeting in an impeccably furnished Whitehall office or a discreet club. The air would be thick with unspoken expectations. Lomax, perhaps initially dismissive, quickly recognizes Anthony's unique position. Anthony, in turn, might feel unease, an intuitive understanding he is out of his depth, yet possesses something these powerful men desperately need. Lomax's questions would be pointed, his demeanor authoritative, designed to extract information while revealing little. Anthony, with his street smarts and directness, would likely cut through political jargon, perhaps unnerving Lomax with blunt honesty. This is not a meeting of equals in social standing, but a strategic engagement where each holds a piece of a larger puzzle. Why does this matter? This interaction establishes power imbalance and central conflict. Lomax represents forces desperately trying to contain a scandal, to control a narrative. Anthony, unwittingly, becomes a conduit for information threatening this order. Their meeting sets the tone for the entire memoir investigation, highlighting the contrast between political machination and individual agency. It immediately frames Lomax as a key player, his motivations, though seemingly noble in protecting national interests, deeply intertwined with his own career aspirations. His ambition isn't merely a character trait, it's a driving force behind the entire plot, propelling him to extreme measures to secure the memoirs. This meeting is far more than an introduction, it is the ignition point for a complex web. Chapter 4, A Meeting with Virginia. Chapter 4, A Meeting with Virginia. Welcome back, listeners, as we delve deeper into the intricate web of secrets within the Secret of Chimneys. Our journey now takes a pivotal turn, moving from the dusty roads and shadowy backrooms where Anthony Cade recovered those incriminating letters, to the elegant, yet equally secretive, world of high society. The stage is set for a confrontation, an introduction, and perhaps, the beginning of a profound connection. Anthony, having successfully retrieved the mysterious correspondence, now faces the daunting task of returning them to their rightful, or perhaps, their wronged owner. This act, seemingly straightforward, is anything but. It is a moment pregnant with consequence, destined to unravel further layers of deceit and desire, drawing Anthony inexorably into a much larger conspiracy. Our introduction to Virginia Revel is not merely a character reveal, it's an experience. Imagine the drawing room, bathed in the soft glow of a London afternoon, a scene of refined comfort. Virginia Revel emerges into this narrative as a striking figure, a high society widow whose very presence exudes an intoxicating blend of sophistication, vivacity, and an almost palpable air of veiled melancholy. She isn't just another socialite, she's an enigma wrapped in silk and charm. Conceptually, Virginia embodies the classic archetype of the glamorous, slightly mysterious high society figure. Often, such characters, by virtue of their elevated status and intricate social connections, become prime targets for manipulation, their past indiscretions or present vulnerabilities ripe for exploitation. She is a woman of means, of influence, and, crucially, a woman with a history that makes her susceptible to the insidious machinations of blackmail. Her allure is undeniable, yet beneath the polished exterior lies a vulnerability, a certain fragility that humanizes her instantly. Practically, Agatha Christie paints a vivid portrait. Virginia is presented as impeccably dressed, her mannerisms poised, her conversation witty and engaging. She navigates the complex social landscape with ease, accustomed to attention, yet there's a flicker in her eyes, a subtle tension in her posture, suggesting a mind preoccupied by concerns far removed from the frivolous chatter of drawing rooms. She is a widow, which in the society of the era, could grant her a degree of independence, but also leave her exposed without a protective male figure. Her charm is a shield, her intelligence a weapon, but her past is an open wound that someone intends to exploit. The very fact that she is the object of blackmail letters speaks volumes about the value placed on her reputation, and the power of the secrets she holds. Her social standing means that any scandal would reverberate widely, making her an exceptionally tempting target for those seeking financial gain through coercion. Why does this matter so profoundly? Because Virginia Revel is not merely a plot device, she is a pivot point. Her introduction immediately elevates the narrative from a simple search and retrieve mission to a deeply personal drama entangled with wider societal implications. She represents the fragile facade of propriety that high society often maintains, and the devastating impact when that facade is threatened. Her character immediately raises the stakes, introducing elements of romance, danger, and a compelling human element to Anthony's quest. Her status means that the blackmail isn't just about money, it's about power, reputation, and the very fabric of her existence. She isn't just a victim, she's a figure around whom much of the later intrigue will revolve. Her character adds a layer of sophisticated drama, setting the tone for a mystery that transcends simple crime and delves into the complexities of human ambition and vulnerability. Now, let's turn our attention to the moment of their first encounter. Anthony Cade arrives at Virginia's elegant residence, the letters in hand, a mixture of duty and curiosity propelling him forward. What unfolds is far from a me. Chapter 5, The Body in the House. Welcome back, listeners, to our continuing journey through the intricate corridors of Agatha Christie's The Secret of Chimneys. In our previous discussions, we explored the vibrant setting, the compelling characters, and the initial sparks of intrigue that illuminate this classic tale of political conspiracy and hidden identities. We've seen Chimneys, a grand ancestral home, transform from a symbol of tradition into a crucible of international tension. We've met the enigmatic Virginia Revel and the ostensibly simple Anthony Cade, both drawn into a web far more complex than they could have imagined. Now, as we turn the page to Chapter 5, we witness a seismic shift in the narrative. The undercurrents of blackmail and political maneuvering that have subtly rippled beneath the surface finally erupt, dramatically and violently, with the shocking event that defines this entire mystery, the first murder. This chapter, The Body in the House, is not merely a plot point, it is the fulcrum upon which the entire narrative balances, irrevocably altering the destinies of our protagonists and plunging them headlong into a desperate quest for truth amidst overwhelming suspicion. The air of genteel political maneuvering is shattered, replaced by the chilling reality of death, transforming a drawing room drama into a tense, high-stakes thriller where every shadow hides a secret and every smile conceals a potential lie. Let us now delve deeper into the pivotal moments that unfold within this crucial chapter. The first major event, one that immediately ratchets up the tension and reshapes the entire storyline, is the unexpected arrival and subsequent murder of a stranger claiming to be the blackmailer at Virginia's house. Conceptually, this represents the jarring intrusion of the criminal underworld directly into the private, seemingly safe sphere of our protagonists. It's the moment when the abstract threat of blackmail, a faceless menace lurking in the background, takes on a tangible, terrifying form. This individual, who confidently asserts his role as the blackmailer, arrives not merely to deliver a threat but to collect upon it, bringing the latent danger directly to Virginia's doorstep. The irony, of course, is that the predator becomes the prey. This sudden, violent turn immediately elevates the stakes from mere financial extortion to a matter of life and death, demonstrating how quickly a precarious situation can escalate beyond anyone's control. The carefully constructed facade of discretion and power dynamics collapses under the weight of a physical assault, turning the tables on the one who sought to manipulate others through fear. To ground this in a more practical context, imagine a scenario where a person has been receiving threatening letters or emails, demanding money or sensitive information. They have lived with the anxiety, the fear of exposure, the constant pressure. Then, one evening, there is a knock at their door, and the very individual they have been dreading, the one they believed was behind the threats, stands before them, making their demands in person. The confrontation is tense, fraught with unspoken danger. Now, extend that scenario. During this highly charged encounter, something goes terribly wrong, and the blackmailer, the person who held all the perceived power, suddenly lies dead. This sudden reversal is not just shocking, it's disorienting. It forces the victim into an immediate, unimaginable crisis. What seemed like a simple, if terrifying, transaction of money for silence transforms into a murder investigation, and the initial victim becomes entangled in a far more profound and dangerous predicament. Why does this particular event matter so profoundly to the larger narrative of The Secret of Chimneys? Its significance cannot be overstated. Firstly, it shatters the illusion of safety that Chimneys, despite its political machinations, might have offered. The murder signifies that the dangers are not merely political or reputational, they are physical and immediate. Secondly, and perhaps most important, Chapter 6, The plot thickens. Welcome back, dear listeners, to our continued exploration of Agatha Christie's intricate tapestry of suspense, The Secret of Chimneys. In our last chapter, the stage was set, the characters introduced, and initial ripples of intrigue began to spread. Now, as we delve into Chapter 6, aptly titled The Plot Thickens, prepare for a significant escalation. This is where innocent misunderstandings give way to deliberate deception, where casual encounters reveal hidden agendas, and where the threads of an unfolding mystery intertwine unexpectedly. We are entering the heart of complications and disguises, a pivotal phase where perception battles reality, and every new piece of information only seems to add layers to the labyrinth. This chapter isn't just about moving the story forward, it's about shifting our understanding, challenging our assumptions, and pulling us deeper into a web of conspiracy far beyond simple murder. Our first major revelation comes as Anthony Cade, resourceful and increasingly entangled, uncovers a startling connection. The dead man, King Victor, is linked directly to the shadowy organization known as the Comrades of the Red Hand. Conceptual explanation: this discovery is a classic eureka moment, where seemingly disparate pieces of information suddenly snap into place, forming a coherent, albeit alarming, picture. It transitions the narrative from a localized crime to something with far wider, political implications. Before this, King Victor's death was an isolated incident. Now, it's a symptom, a consequence of a larger, more menacing force. The Comrades, previously a distant threat, are now anchored to the very real violence that has occurred, transforming King Victor from merely a victim into a crucial pawn in a grander scheme. Real-world practical example: imagine a local bank robbery. Initially, it seems like a simple criminal act. However, during investigation, police discover that stolen funds were immediately laundered through a shell corporation known to be associated with an international extremist group. Suddenly, the local robbery isn't just a robbery, it's a funding operation for a global network. The scope expands exponentially. The dead man in our story is similar. His death, initially confined, now has tendrils reaching into a vast, dangerous political underground. Why it matters: this connection is paramount. Firstly, it elevates the stakes dramatically. We move beyond a personal vendetta into international intrigue and political upheaval. The murder is no longer just a murder, it's a political assassination, or intimately connected to political machinations. Secondly, it establishes the Comrades of the Red Hand as a tangible, active threat. This group isn't merely discussed, they are now demonstrably involved in the present danger. Thirdly, for Anthony, it reframes his entire understanding of his predicament. He's not just a courier, he's stumbled into the middle of a high-stakes power struggle, where his life, and potentially the fate of nations, hangs in the balance. This realization pushes him from passive involvement to active investigation, because he now understands the true depth of the danger. The implication is clear: greater harm could come to many if he doesn't untangle this web. Next, an even more unsettling twist unfolds. The letters, critical documents seemingly holding the key to King Victor's affairs, are revealed to be forgeries. Conceptual explanation: this revelation is a masterstroke of misdirection, a hallmark of Christie's genius. It doesn't just add complexity, it completely destabilizes previously accepted facts. What we, and the characters, believed to be authentic, verifiable evidence turns out to be a carefully constructed deception. This isn't a simple case of missing information, it's a deliberate planting of false clues, designed to mislead and obfuscate. The very foundation of many assumptions crumbles. The forgeries indicate an intelligent, meticulous mind at work, someone not only willing to commit murder but also capable of orchestrating a.s. Chapter 7, Welcome to Chimneys. Welcome, dear listener, to Chapter 7 of The Secret of Chimneys, a chapter that throws open the ornate, heavy doors of the grand estate itself, inviting us into the very heart of the mystery. Here, the stage is truly set, players assemble, and the rich tapestry of intrigue begins to weave its most intricate patterns. We step into Chimneys, a place as imposing as it is historic, steeped in grandeur and whispered secrets, a veritable crucible for unfolding events. Let's first meet Lord Caterham. Picture him, the reluctant host. He's a man of venerable lineage and immense property, but his primary desire is a quiet existence, untroubled by state machinations or emotional dramas. He's the quintessential English peer, more interested in pruning roses than the volatile politics threatening his ancestral home. Like a modern CEO forced by legacy to host a high-stakes international summit when all they crave is a golf afternoon, Lord Caterham performs his duties, manages logistics, but his heart isn't in the pageantry. He observes, bewildered, rather than actively participating in the power plays. His genial, bemused demeanor masks a profound desire for simplicity, a longing sorely tested by the intricate web of deception and danger descending upon his household. His reluctance isn't just a quirk, it's a foundational element of the story's tension, a quiet protest against the chaos destined to erupt. Why does Lord Caterham matter? His character serves multiple crucial functions. He provides a grounding, almost comedic, contrast to the intense, cloak and dagger machinations of other characters. His normalcy, his preference for the mundane, highlights the conspiracy's extraordinary nature. His detachment allows him to be an unwitting observer, offering an external perspective. We, the audience, identify with someone swept up in events beyond their control. This creates vulnerability for the estate and the narrative. His inability to grasp the situation's gravity keeps tension taut, as we slowly piece together the danger. He's a static anchor in a swirling sea of secrets. His quiet desire for peace makes the impending chaos more impactful. Now, consider the arrival of the diverse dramatis personae, transforming Chimneys into a hotbed of international intrigue. Agatha Christie assembles a cast designed to entertain and mislead. Guests stream in, each bringing baggage, motives, hidden agendas. But one figure stands out, cloaked not just in travel attire, but in carefully constructed deception, the disguised Prince Michael of Slovakia. This isn't mistaken identity, it's a deliberate, calculated subterfuge, a cornerstone of the mystery. The prince, heir to a tumultuous throne, arrives incognito, a ghost among the living. His true identity, a secret known only to a select few, is guarded with extreme caution, much like a world leader or crucial witness attending a high-stakes diplomatic conference under assumed identity. Posing as an academic or aide, designed to blend, observe, gather intelligence, or simply survive. This hidden purpose raises stakes, turning every polite conversation into a potential interrogation, every casual glance into a scrutinizing gaze. The real world is full of hidden narratives, making this aspect incredibly relatable. The arrival of these varied guests, particularly the disguised Prince Michael, is the plot's engine. Firstly, it creates a rich pool of potential suspects and victims, expanding narrative possibilities. Each new face introduces motivations, history, and connections to the conspiracy. Secondly, the disguised prince's presence is a direct catalyst for central conflict. His concealed identity precipitates danger, assassinations, and the desperate scramble for a missing document. It forces other characters to adopt layers of deception or protection, escalating unease. Without this crucial hidden royal, Christie's intricate mystery would collapse. It's the spark igniting the powder keg, ensuring Chimneys will be anything but peaceful. Finally, let's delve into the very air of Chimneys, thick. Chapter 8, The Shot in the Night. Welcome back to our deep dive into Agatha Christie's The Secret of Chimneys. Chapter 8, The Shot in the Night, shatters the deceptive calm of the grand estate. Until now, Chimneys has been a backdrop for opulent dinners, secret meetings, and a complex web of international intrigue. The air has been thick with unspoken tension, a palpable unease hinting at impending disaster. We've observed subtle power plays and veiled distrust. This chapter marks the pivotal moment where intellectual games yield to brutal fact, a murder at the estate. The delicate balance erupts into stark reality. Let us dissect the events, starting with the final, tense dinner. Picture the grand dining room, candlelight gleaming on silverware, crystal glasses tinkling. Yet, beneath this veneer of civility, an electric current of apprehension flows, acutely felt by all. This dinner is more than a social gathering, it's a microcosm of simmering conflicts and entrenched suspicions among the guests. It's a charade where smiles hide motives and polite inquiries are probing questions. Conceptually, this tense dinner serves as Christie's master class in foreshadowing. It's a final tableau before the storm, revealing intricate dynamics, alliances, and animosities. Conversations are laced with double meanings, glances loaded with unspoken narratives. Observe characters like the stern Superintendent Battle, the flustered Lomax, or the impulsive Bundle Brant. Each contributes to the mosaic of tension. For a practical example, recall specific interactions: a pointed question at Prince Michael, a too smooth deflection. Virginia Revel nervously toying with her napkin, her eyes betraying inner turmoil. The Duke of Merton's forced jollity. Count Stanislaus's sharp retort met by George Lomax's chilling calm. The clinking of glasses, the murmur of voices all seem amplified, hinting at disaster. These are not just details, they are deliberate brush strokes, painting a society teetering on the edge, the air thick with unvoiced fears. Why it matters? This detailed dinner scene is crucial for several reasons. Firstly, it establishes potential motives by highlighting conflicts, rivalries, and dangerous secrets. We see the web of political intrigue and personal animosities. Secondly, it lays groundwork for red herrings. Strained interactions can point suspicion in multiple directions. Characters' reactions, nervous habits, fleeting expressions become potential clues or deliberate misdirect ions. Finally, it immerses us in Chimney's psychological landscape, allowing us to feel the oppressive atmosphere preceding the act. We witness the fragile peace and strained relationships, making every character a potential suspect. The evening progresses, dinner concludes, and the house settles into uneasy quiet. Guests retreat. The darkness outside deepens, mirroring shadows within the estate. Then, shattering the silence, a gunshot rings out. Not distant, but a sharp, undeniable crack echoing through ancient halls, vibrating through the house's foundations. Conceptually, this gunshot is the ultimate dramatic punctuation. It's the violent eruption of chaos, transforming speculative unease into terrifying certainty. It's a point of no return, irreversibly altering every character's life. The sound is stark, abrupt, cutting through silence like a physical blow. It announces murder, escalating political maneuvers into deadly reality, demanding immediate attention and a frantic search. For a practical example, imagine the immediate aftermath: collective gasps, frozen stillness, frantic scrambles. Servants dropping trays, guests springing from beds. Urgent, stumbling footsteps. Lamps lit, doors flung open, nervous questions exchanged. Superintendent Battle, ever professional, reacts with calculated precision, his mind sifting possibilities. Others are gripped by terror. The silence immediately following the shot, before the cacophony of fear, is perhaps the most chilling part. Why it matters? The gunshot is the definitive catalyst for the entire murder investigation. Its precise timing and Chapter 9, Enter Superintendent Battle. Welcome back, dear listener, to our deep dive into the labyrinthine world of Agatha Christie's The Secret of Chimneys. We've witnessed a dramatic murder, a house full of suspects brimming with secrets, and the palpable tension that only a grand country estate can cultivate. The stage is set, the initial chaos has somewhat subsided, and the amateur sleuths have had their brief, often misguided, moment in the spotlight. Now, as the morning mist begins to burn off the grounds of Chimneys, a new, formidable presence is about to arrive, one who will irrevocably alter the course of our investigation and peel back the superficial layers of this seemingly straightforward crime. This is the moment when the official machinery of justice truly kicks into gear, and the game changes entirely. The world of amateur speculation gives way to professional, methodical scrutiny. Chapter 9 marks the pivotal entrance of Superintendent Battle of Scotland Yard. Imagine the scene: the household, already on edge from the night's events and the previous day's revelations, waits with a mix of dread and anticipation. Into this charged atmosphere steps a figure who embodies the very essence of law enforcement in the golden age of detective fiction. Battle is introduced to us as a stoic and wooden-faced detective, a man whose expression rarely betrays his thoughts, whose demeanor is one of unflappable, quiet authority. He isn't a flamboyant character like Hercule Poirot or a charming amateur like Miss Marple. No, Battle is the quintessential professional, representing the steady, relentless force of the yard. His conceptual explanation, then, lies in his role as the anchor of empirical investigation. He isn't interested in drawing psychological profiles from a distance, he's on the ground, gathering facts, interviewing witnesses, and meticulously building a case brick by logical brick. His character underscores Christie's respect for the police as a necessary counterpoint to her more eccentric private detectives. His quiet competence provides a bedrock of realism in a genre often celebrated for its fantastical elements. A practical example of Battle's arrival and his initial impact can be seen immediately in the shift in the household's collective behavior. The chattering, the whispered conjectures, the nervous energy that permeated Chimneys since the discovery of Prince Michael's body all begin to recede under his gaze. He doesn't need to shout or grandstand, his mere presence commands respect and, more importantly, strict adherence to protocol. He takes control of the crime scene not with a flourish, but with an almost imperceptible tightening of the reins. Doors that were open are now guarded. Conversations that were private are now subject to official scrutiny. He sets a clear boundary between the police investigation and the private lives of the guests, yet he does so without appearing overtly aggressive. It's a testament to his understated power, a power derived from his position and his unwavering focus on the facts. Why it matters is profound. Battle's arrival signifies the true commencement of the criminal investigation. Before him, we had chaos and speculation. With him, we get structure, procedure, and the cold, hard logic of the law. He pulls the narrative back from the brink of drawing room melodrama and grounds it in the methodical pursuit of justice, reminding us that behind the theatricality of murder, there are real consequences and real legal processes at play. His methods ensure that no stone remains unturned, and no witness escapes proper questioning. As Battle takes control, his primary task is to begin interviewing the guests. This is where his professional training truly shines. Unlike the casual interrogations that might have occurred amongst the guests themselves, Battle's interviews are systematic, probing, and designed to extract information, not merely to listen to stories. He approaches each individual with the same impassive expression, asking questions that are direct, precise, and designed to catch inconsistencies or. Chapter 10, Anthony Under Suspicion. Welcome back, dear listener, to our continuing journey through the intricate world of The Secret of Chimneys. In this 10th chapter, titled Anthony Under Suspicion, the atmospheric tension that has been steadily building within the grand, old country house reaches a new peak, shifting its focus squarely onto one of our central characters, Anthony Cade. The narrative deftly transitions from the general apprehension following the murder to a pointed, personal interrogation, a crucible in which truths are tested and new facets of the mystery begin to emerge. This chapter is a masterclass in how an unexpected event, a seemingly minor detail, can suddenly propel an individual into the harsh glare of suspicion, fundamentally altering their role in the unfolding drama. It's here that the meticulous mind of Superintendent Battle truly comes to the fore, his quiet observations culminating in a direct confrontation that promises to unravel several threads at once. We are about to witness the delicate dance between accusation and defense, where the weight of circumstance often speaks louder than initial denials. Let's delve into the first critical interaction, Superintendent Battle's direct questioning of Anthony about his presence near the scene of the crime. Conceptually, this is a classic investigative maneuver, the establishment of immediate proximity to a crime, creating an initial, often powerful, presumption of involvement. When a crime occurs, one of the first things any good detective seeks to establish is who was where, and when. Any individual found near the location, especially without a clear and easily verifiable reason, automatically becomes a person of interest. It's not about guilt, it's about eliminating possibilities and understanding the full context. This initial questioning isn't necessarily an accusation but a probing expedition, a careful sifting through available information to construct a timeline and identify inconsistencies. The fact that Anthony, a relative stranger with a somewhat ambiguous past, was near the murder scene raises an immediate red flag, demanding a thorough explanation. Battle, with his keen understanding of human behavior and the mechanics of crime, would naturally gravitate towards this conspicuous detail, recognizing it as a potential linchpin in his investigation. The questioning aims to gauge Anthony's demeanor, his story's coherence, and his reaction under pressure, all vital clues that can either solidify or dismantle initial suspicions. To offer a real-world, practical example, imagine a scenario where a high-value art piece is stolen from a museum overnight. Security footage shows a maintenance worker, whose shift ended hours earlier, lingering near the exhibit shortly before the break-in. When questioned, the worker offers a vague explanation about forgetting something, perhaps a tool, and returning to retrieve it. While seemingly innocuous, this explanation immediately piques the interest of the investigating officers. Why was the tool not remembered earlier? Why did it take so long to retrieve it? Was there a more convenient time? The officer isn't assuming guilt, but the anomaly in the established routine, the deviation from expected behavior, warrants deeper scrutiny. This is precisely the position Anthony finds himself in. His presence, while potentially innocent, is out of sync with what might be expected, given the circumstances. He's an outsider, now directly linked by geography and timing to a grave criminal act, making him an unavoidable point of focus for Battle's methodical inquiry. The questioning will be precise, perhaps seemingly casual, but every word, every hesitation, every detail Anthony provides, will be weighed and analyzed against other known facts. Why does this matter so profoundly in the broader narrative of The Secret of Chimneys? Firstly, it establishes the immediate stakes for Anthony. He is no longer just a drifter, an observer, or a casual participant in the country house drama. He is now a suspect, placing him firmly at the center of the INV. Chapter 11, The French Stranger. Welcome back, astute listeners, to our continued exploration of Agatha Christie's intricately woven tapestry, The Secret of Chimneys. We're delving now into Chapter 11, a pivotal moment aptly titled The French Stranger. Here, the seemingly sedate country house atmosphere begins to crack, revealing layers of intrigue, deceit, and danger that will keep us on the edge of our seats. Picture this: a grand old English estate, brimming with secrets, where an unexpected figure, a governess no less, holds the keys to more than just her students' lessons. We're moving beyond mere parlor room gossip into the heart of a budding international conspiracy, where the quiet whispers of the governess and the thief start to echo with ominous reality. The stage is set for a dramatic unveiling, where perception battles reality, and every seemingly innocuous detail takes on new, darker significance, challenging us to look beyond the surface. Our first deep dive brings us face to face with Mademoiselle Brun, the French governess. On the surface, she's precisely what she appears to be, an educator, responsible for the younger residents of Chimneys, teaching them their lessons with diligent care. But as Christie masterfully demonstrates, surfaces in this world are almost always deceptive. Mademoiselle Brun exhibits a peculiar nervousness, a watchful quality, and an almost imperceptible shift in demeanor whenever certain topics arise, particularly those concerning the late King of Czechoslovakia or the current volatile political climate in Europe. She seems to possess a reservoir of knowledge, or perhaps, a burden of information, that she is desperately trying to conceal, her every gesture betraying a deeper, unspoken truth. Conceptually, this highlights Christie's brilliant use of the unreliable observer or information gatekeeper trope. Mademoiselle Brun isn't necessarily a villain in the traditional sense, but she is undeniably a character who knows more than she lets on, actively withholding vital pieces of the puzzle from the other characters, and crucially, from us, the audience. Her guarded responses, her subtle deflections, and her almost too perfect attempts at appearing normal are all red flags that a keen reader, or listener, should immediately pick up on. It's a classic misdirection, drawing our attention to her demure exterior while her inner turmoil hints at a far deeper involvement than her role as a governess would suggest. Her quietness is not merely shyness, it is a calculated silence. A practical example of this is her reaction when the subject of foreign politics, particularly those involving the Balkan states or the complexities surrounding the Herzegovinian succession, is brought up at dinner. While others might offer casual opinions or engage in spirited debate, Mademoiselle Brun becomes visibly agitated, her hands perhaps clenching under the table, her eyes darting nervously around the room. She offers vague, non-committal answers or quickly steers the conversation in a different direction, often with an almost frantic politeness. Her French accent, usually charming and distinctive, might even seem to thicken as if she's using it as a shield, a barrier to further inquiry. This isn't just shyness, it's a deliberate, albeit subtle, attempt to evade scrutiny, to deflect attention away from her concealed knowledge. Why does this matter so profoundly to our understanding of the narrative? Mademoiselle Brun's hidden knowledge transforms her from a background character into a potential key player, a nexus of crucial information. Her reluctance to share information isn't merely a character quirk, it's a potent plot device that generates suspense, complicates the investigation, and suggests a wider conspiracy that extends beyond the immediate confines of Chimneys. She might be protecting someone, or she might be deeply embroiled herself, perhaps an unwitting participant in dangerous machinations. Her silence forces us to question motives, to scrutinize every word spoken, and to consider what hidden connections she possesses. Chapter 12, The Missing Diamond. Welcome, dear listeners, to a riveting deep dive into Chapter 12, The Missing Diamond from Agatha Christie's enthralling novel, The Secret of Chimneys. Prepare yourselves for a journey into the heart of a classic treasure hunt, a narrative twist that elevates this mystery from a mere whodunit to a thrilling quest for a legendary jewel. Imagine, if you will, the timeless allure of a lost treasure, the whisper of ancient secrets hidden within the venerable walls of a grand estate. This isn't just a story about a murder and political intrigue, it transforms, in this pivotal chapter, into the fervent, often desperate, hunt for the Koh-i-Noor, not the famous Indian diamond, but a jewel of equally immense legend and value within the world of Chimneys. It's a hunt that promises untold riches and, perhaps, even greater dangers, drawing every character into its mesmerizing orbit. This chapter peels back layers, revealing that the very ground upon which our characters stand is imbued with a history far more precious and perilous than they initially realized. It sets the stage for a dramatic escalation of stakes, forcing everyone to reconsider their perceptions and motivations. Our first crucial point emerges with a thunderous revelation. it is explicitly stated that the famed Koh-i-Noor diamond, a jewel steeped in legend and global significance, was hidden within the confines of Chimneys many years ago. Conceptually, this revelation is a masterstroke of narrative design. It transforms a familiar setting, the seemingly staid country house, into an unexpected crucible of historical intrigue and future ambition. The house itself becomes a character, no longer just a backdrop but a keeper of monumental secrets, harboring a past that directly influences the present. Think of it as discovering that your unassuming family home once served as a clandestine meeting place for historical figures, or that a famous piece of art was secretly stored in your attic for decades. The space you thought you knew intimately suddenly gains an entirely new dimension, imbued with a hidden history that changes everything. Why this matters is profound. This detail dramatically shifts the narrative's focus. The initial murder investigation, while still critical, now intertwines with a grander, more immediate quest. It provides an entirely new set of motivations for the characters present. Who knew about the diamond? Who is truly searching for it, and for what purpose? This single revelation retroactively complicates every character's actions and statements, turning casual observations into potential clues and innocent conversations into veiled inquiries. It injects a sense of palpable urgency and deep historical weight into the ongoing drama, making Chimneys not just a house, but a veritable treasure chest awaiting discovery. Following this electrifying disclosure, our second key development unfolds. The guests at Chimneys, driven by a cocktail of greed, curiosity, and desperation, begin a frantic, yet remarkably surreptitious, search for the jewel. This is human nature laid bare. The lure of immense wealth, the prestige of possessing a legendary artifact, or even the sheer thrill of discovery, overrides decorum and caution. The guests, under the veneer of polite conversation and social niceties, are now discreetly scanning every nook, every cranny, every piece of furniture, and every shadow for the slightest indication of the diamond's whereabouts. Imagine a high-stakes poker game where every player maintains a composed exterior, but beneath the table, hands are subtly fumbling for a dropped card or a hidden signal. Or consider a rare book auction where collectors, feigning nonchalance, are intensely scrutinizing their competitors for any hint of their bidding strategy. The tension here isn't loud, it's a silent, almost predatory hum beneath the surface of the grand house. Why this matters is crucial for character development and atmosphere. This covert search acts as an immediate crucible, revealing the true inclinations and moral compasses of the eye. Chapter 13, Codes and Ciphers. Welcome back, astute listeners, to the heart of the Secret of Chimneys. Today, we embark on a truly captivating journey, one that taps into our most primal human urges, the desire to solve a mystery, to unlock a secret, to understand what lies beneath the surface. We're diving deep into Chapter 13, a pivotal moment where the abstract world of hidden messages collides with the very real stakes of our unfolding drama. This is where intellect becomes the ultimate weapon, and the thrilling art of puzzle solving takes center stage. Have you ever felt that exhilarating spark when a pattern emerges from chaos, or a jumbled sequence suddenly makes perfect sense? That's precisely the sensation we're exploring today, amplified by the high-stakes intrigue that defines Chimneys. This chapter isn't just about reading a text, it's about decoding destiny. It's a masterclass in how crucial, often overlooked, details can turn the tide of an entire investigation. Our first critical turning point arrives when Anthony, ever the keen observer, stumbles upon a cryptogram. This isn't just any scrap of paper, it's a message left by the late Count Stultich himself. Think for a moment about the implications. A cryptogram, at its core, is an encrypted message, a piece of writing where meaning is intentionally obscured. It's a secret whispered only to those with the key, a challenge laid down for the perceptive mind. Conceptually, we're talking about information security in its most classical form. Before digital encryption and complex algorithms, people relied on these clever, often manual, methods to guard their sensitive communications. A simple substitution cipher, for instance, replaces each letter in the plain text with another letter or symbol. A more complex transposition cipher rearranges the order of the letters without changing them. The beauty, and often the frustration, lies in discovering which method was employed. Consider a real-world example. Imagine a simple children's cipher wheel where A becomes D, B becomes E, and so on. If you received a message like WKDWLVWKHV and you knew the shift was 3 letters forward, you could easily decode it to what is the search terms. This isn't just a game. Throughout history, from military communications during ancient wars using tools like the sigil to the complex encryptions of Renaissance diplomats, cryptograms have shaped outcomes. They've protected state secrets, facilitated covert operations, and in some cases, preserved lives. Why does Anthony finding this particular cryptogram matter so profoundly in The Secret of Chimneys? Because it's a direct conduit to the late Count Stultich, a man whose death set this entire intricate plot into motion. This isn't just a random puzzle, it's a posthumous voice, a clue from beyond the grave that holds the potential to unravel the entire mystery. It elevates the stakes from mere speculation to a concrete, tangible pursuit of truth. Every character, every symbol, every jumble of letters now carries the weight of unsolved murder and political intrigue. It matters because it transforms the search from an abstract investigation into a focused intellectual duel with a deceased, yet incredibly influential, player. It's the first real breadcrumb in a very dark forest, and its discovery immediately shifts the narrative's momentum. Now, let's consider the collaborative effort that follows. Anthony, realizing the complexity and the urgency, wisely partners with Virginia to decipher the message. This collaboration isn't merely a plot device, it's a testament to the power of diverse perspectives and shared intellect in problem solving. Conceptually, decryption is often an iterative process of hypothesis, testing, and refinement. One might start with frequency analysis, looking for the most common letters in English E, T, A, O, I, N and correlating them with the most frequent symbols or letters in the cryptogram. Another might look for common short words, like the or N, or even single letter words like A or I. It's AP. Chapter 14, The Second Attack. Welcome back to our deep dive into the labyrinthine corridors and dangerous secrets of Agatha Christie's The Secret of Chimneys. We're now turning the page to Chapter 14, aptly titled The Second Attack, a chapter where the leisurely pace of an English country house party is violently shattered, and the true gravity of the situation at Chimneys becomes undeniably clear. If Chapter 13 gently nudged us towards the precipice, Chapter 14 plunges us headfirst into the very real and immediate danger lurking within those historic walls. The stakes, already high, are about to become astronomical, demanding our utmost attention and compelling us to consider the implications of every shadow, every whispered word, and every desperate action. This isn't merely a stage for a murder mystery, it is becoming a battleground where life and death hang precariously in the balance. Our journey into Chimneys has moved beyond mere intellectual curiosity, it has transformed into a high-stakes investigation where the pursuit of truth carries a deadly personal cost. Let us unravel the thrilling, chilling details of this pivotal chapter. Our first critical development, and perhaps the most visceral, is that an attempt is made on Anthony Cade's life while he explores the grounds. This is a dramatic escalation, moving the conflict from the realm of suspicion and veiled threats into direct, physical danger. Conceptually, this incident marks a crucial pivot point in any mystery narrative. It's the moment when the protagonist, often an amateur investigator or someone unwittingly embroiled in events, ceases to be a detached observer and becomes a direct target. This transition is vital because it personalizes the stakes. Before this, the danger might have felt abstract, confined to the discovery of a body or the deciphering of a coded message. Now, the threat is concrete, immediate, and aimed squarely at our hero. It often serves as a warning shot from the antagonists, a clear message that the protagonist is treading on forbidden ground and that the forces at play are ruthless and willing to commit further violence to protect their secrets. It shatters any lingering illusions of safety and forces the protagonist and by extension, the listener to confront the harsh reality of the situation. This shift transforms the mystery from a mere puzzle into a matter of survival, injecting a potent dose of urgency and peril into the narrative. In The Secret of Chimneys, this concept manifests when Anthony, in his characteristically casual yet keen exploration, finds himself in a truly perilous situation. He is out on the sprawling, picturesque grounds of Chimneys, an environment that usually signifies peace and tranquility, yet here it becomes the backdrop for sudden, brutal aggression. As he wanders, perhaps lost in thought, perhaps actively searching for clues, a shot rings out, narrowly missing him. The precise details, the sudden crack of the rifle, the whistling of the bullet, The impact against a nearby tree or wall are designed to shock both Anthony and us, the audience. This isn't a clumsy stumble or an accidental fall, it is a deliberate, targeted act of attempted murder. The immediate aftermath would see Anthony diving for cover, his heart pounding, his mind racing to process the suddenness and brutality of the attack. It's a stark reminder that beneath the veneer of aristocratic charm, Chimneys harbors a very real and present danger, and there are individuals within its confines who are willing to resort to extreme measures to achieve their objectives or protect their identities. The setting itself, the ostensibly safe grounds of a country estate, now feels profoundly menacing. Why does this matter so profoundly to the story? This attempt on Anthony's life is far more than just a thrilling action sequence. Firstly, it undeniably confirms the existence of dangerous adversaries who are active and present within Chimneys, or at least very close by. It dispels any lingering doubts that the previous murder was an isolated incident or an act of passion. Chapter 15, Battle's Strategy. Welcome back, listeners, to our continuing exploration of Agatha Christie's The Secret of Chimneys. In this chapter, Battle's Strategy, we peel back the layers of a master detective's mind, witnessing the calm, calculated brilliance of Superintendent Battle as he navigates a labyrinth of deceit. This isn't just a story, it's a masterclass in strategic thinking, a blueprint for problem solving under immense pressure. Prepare to delve into the intricate gears of a mind dedicated to justice, understanding the subtle art of patience and observation that defines true detective work. Superintendent Battle reveals he is waiting for the thief to make a mistake. The core of Battle's strategy is often strategic patience, a deliberate waiting game. He understands that even the most cunning criminal, under sustained pressure or a false sense of security, will eventually falter. It's about setting the stage, creating conditions where a misstep is not just possible, but highly probable. Battle plays the long game, observing every nuanced interaction, every subtle shift, allowing the perpetrator to inadvertently reveal their guilt. This isn't passive inaction, it's highly active observation, a chess master anticipating the opponent's next move by understanding their psychology. Consider a wildlife photographer observing a rare animal. They don't rush in, they meticulously scout the location, set up their equipment, and then wait, sometimes for days. They understand that the animal will eventually act naturally, revealing a behavior or a moment that cannot be forced. Similarly, Battle creates a contained environment at Chimneys. He doesn't directly confront, he observes the animal in its fabricated habitat, waiting for the authentic flicker of fear, the telltale sign of a lie, or an uncharacteristic move that will give the game away. He builds a psychological pressure cooker, knowing that eventually, something will crack. This patient observation is paramount because mistakes, especially those born of stress or overconfidence, often provide irrefutable, tangible evidence. Unlike circumstantial clues, a direct error made by the culprit under surveillance offers clarity and conviction. It prevents premature arrests based on suspicion alone, ensuring that when Battle finally moves, his case is ironclad. It demonstrates a profound understanding of human nature and criminal psychology, a belief that truth, given the right circumstances, will always surface. It's the difference between guessing and knowing. Battle shares profiles of international criminals with Anthony. Battle's decision to share detailed profiles of international criminals with Anthony is a brilliant tactical move. It's more than mere information, it's an education, a strategic expansion of the investigative team's eyes and ears. By illustrating the methods, motivations, and common traits of sophisticated thieves, Battle provides Anthony with a framework for analysis. He's effectively arming a civilian with a detective's insight, broadening the scope of what constitutes suspicious behavior and inviting a fresh perspective into the complex web of interactions within Chimneys. It suggests the scope of the crime could be far wider than initially perceived. Imagine a coach showing a new player video footage of various opponents' strategies. The coach highlights specific plays, player tendencies, and common weaknesses. The player isn't just watching, they're learning to identify patterns, anticipating potential threats based on past examples. Battle does something similar. He might detail the modus operandi of the Marquis, known for his charm and audacious jewel heists, or Madame X, a master of disguise and psychological manipulation. Anthony, armed with these archetypes, begins to scrutinize guests not just as individuals, but as potential manifestations of these criminal profiles, noticing details that would otherwise be insignificant. This collaborative intelligence gathering is crucial. It creates additional layers of scrutiny, multiplying the chances of a brainith. Chapter 16: The American Visitor. Welcome back to our deep dive into the labyrinthine world of Agatha Christie's The Secret of Chimneys. In this chapter, Chapter 16, The American Visitor, the narrative fabric begins to reveal new threads, tightly woven into the existing tapestry of secrets and political intrigue. We've witnessed numerous characters arrive and depart, each leaving their peculiar imprint, and each adding another layer to the already complex mystery surrounding the succession of Czechoslovakia and the elusive King's Ruby. Recall how earlier figures, like the mysterious Isaac Stein, the prominent jewel merchant whose name alone evokes an aura of immense value and dangerous acquisition, have often served as silent catalysts. Though not always physically present, the shadow of his interest, or indeed, the very nature of the treasure he seeks to appraise or acquire, acts as a powerful undercurrent. His implied connections to the diamond's history and its immense worth set the stage for anyone else arriving with a keen interest in precious stones or the political machinations they incite. It's into this environment, thick with unspoken motives and thinly veiled agendas, that our new American guest makes his somewhat peculiar entrance, irrevocably altering the dynamics of the country house party. This chapter is a masterclass in how a single new character can dramatically shift the entire investigative paradigm. Let us now delve into the specific points that make this chapter so utterly compelling and crucial to the unfolding drama. Our first point of focus is Hiram Fish, an American guest who seems conspicuously out of place amidst the aristocratic British setting of Chimneys. Conceptually, the introduction of a character who is culturally or socially distinct from the established milieu is a classic narrative device in mystery fiction. This outsider status immediately marks them as potentially significant, either as a perpetrator, a victim, or, most commonly, an investigator. Their unconventional manners, speech patterns, or even their very presence, diverge from the expected norms, creating a palpable sense of unease and curiosity among both the characters within the story and us, the astute listeners. This divergence is often a deliberate choice by the author to highlight the character's unique role or perspective, allowing them to observe and interact in ways that conformist characters cannot. Their otherness becomes a lens through which the familiar becomes strange, and thus, open to new interpretations. Practically speaking, Hiram Fish embodies this concept perfectly. His American directness often contrasts sharply with the nuanced, indirect communication prevalent in British upper-class society. He might ask questions that seem impolitely blunt, or offer observations that strike the other guests as remarkably naive or overly enthusiastic. His accent, his turns of phrase, even his sartorial choices might subtly mark him as different. Christie often uses such details to sketch a character quickly and effectively. Imagine him, perhaps, using American colloquialisms that momentarily bewilder the British characters, or displaying a straightforwardness in conversation that cuts through the typical polite circumlocution. He might appear to fumble socially, yet his eyes miss nothing, betraying a keen intelligence beneath a veneer of folksy charm. This initial presentation is designed to make us question his authenticity. Is he genuinely clumsy, or is this an elaborate disguise? Why it matters is profound. Fish's initial portrayal creates immediate intrigue and suspicion. He challenges the reader's assumptions about who belongs and who doesn't, and why. His oddness is a deliberate narrative device. It forces us to scrutinize his actions and words more closely. This character isn't just a guest, he's a question mark. By making him stand out, Christie ensures that his eventual reveal carries maximum impact, retroactively recontextualizing every peculiar behavior we've observed. He acts as a narrative disruptor, shaking up the established order. Chapter 17, The Secret Passage. Chapter 17, The Secret Passage. Welcome back, astute listeners, to our continuing exploration of Agatha Christie's enthralling world, specifically The Secret of Chimneys. Today, we plunge into Chapter 17, a pivotal moment where the very architecture of the grand estate begins to yield its most guarded secrets. Imagine the scene, a sprawling country manor, full of echoes and shadows, where every creaking floorboard seems to whisper of hidden histories and long-held secrets. For much of our journey, Chimneys has been a beautiful, yet ominous, backdrop to a perplexing crime. Now, it transforms into an active participant, revealing pathways unknown to all but the most cunning or the most accidental of discoverers. This chapter isn't merely a plot development, it's a dramatic unveiling, shifting our understanding of motive, opportunity, and the very layout of the crime itself. Prepare to venture into the unseen, to listen in on forbidden whispers, and to grasp the physical evidence that has eluded us thus far, as the mansion itself finally speaks. Let's delve into the first major revelation, Anthony's discovery of a secret passage connecting rooms at Chimneys. This isn't just a convenient plot device, it's a profound conceptual shift. Architecturally, secret passages have been a feature of grand homes for centuries, designed for discreet movement, escape, or sometimes, for sheer novelty. They represent hidden dimensions within a seemingly static structure, allowing characters to defy conventional spatial logic. Think of the hidden staircases in medieval castles, the priest holes of Elizabethan England, or even the secret compartments in stately homes used during times of war or political unrest. These aren't just fantasy, they're echoes of real history, practical solutions for specific needs. In our narrative, this discovery fundamentally alters the map of Chimneys. Why does this matter? Because it shatters previous assumptions about who could be where, and when. It introduces a vital new vector for movement, allowing access to areas that might otherwise appear locked down. This passage provides a perfect means for an unexpected entrance or a swift, undetected exit, suddenly casting doubt on alibis and opening a labyrinth of possibilities for the killer's movements. It's a game changer, revealing that the truth about Chimneys, and its secrets, runs far deeper than its elegant facade suggests. Next, we encounter a classic, yet always gripping, mystery trope. Anthony overhears a compromising conversation between two suspects. Conceptually, overheard conversations are narrative gold mines. They offer unfiltered glimpses into characters' true intentions, revealing alliances, betrayals, and hidden motives that would otherwise remain cloaked in polite dialogue. This device is powerful because it circumvents direct exposition, presenting information as if the listener, and by extension, you, the audience, are privy to a clandestine moment. It's a raw, immediate intake of critical data. Think of real-world scenarios, the casual remark caught on a bugged phone, the hushed discussion in a seemingly empty corridor, or even the unintended revelation in an email thread accidentally left open. Such moments can break open cases wide. This isn't just idle gossip, it's tangible evidence, providing context and motivation that clarifies murky relationships or suggests dark dealings. Why does this matter profoundly? Because it strips away the polite veneers and social graces that characters often use to mask their true selves. This conversation doesn't just provide clues, it names names, highlights specific conflicts, and deepens the intrigue. It reveals who is working with whom, who knows what, and potentially, who has the most to lose or gain. It gives us a direct line into the psychological landscape of the suspects, offering invaluable insight into their shared secrets and conflicting agendas. This is where the plot thickens, not through deduction, but through direct, clandestine witness. Finally, the passage leads to a startling discovery. Chapter 18, Virginia's Confession. Welcome back, listeners, to our deep dive into the compelling world of Agatha Christie's The Secret of Chimneys. We now arrive at Chapter 18, a pivotal moment aptly titled Virginia's Confession. This chapter isn't just a turning point in the mystery, it's a crucible for the burgeoning romance between Anthony Cade and Virginia Revel, where romantic tension intertwines inextricably with the cold, hard truth. It's a moment where veneers crack, secrets are laid bare, and the foundation of trust is either solidified or shattered. An engaging hook indeed, drawing us deeper into the labyrinthine corridors of Chimneys and the human hearts beating within its walls. Our first crucial point in this chapter centers on Virginia's confession of her fears to Anthony regarding her past. Conceptually, this is the profound act of vulnerability, the deliberate shedding of pretense, where an individual risks everything including potential rejection or judgment by exposing a deeply personal and potentially damaging part of their history. For Virginia, her past isn't merely personal history, it's an active, dangerous component of the very mystery engulfing them. It's a secret that directly impacts the unfolding political intrigue and places her in a perilous position, making her confession less about emotional intimacy and more about the shared reality of danger. To give you a practical example, imagine someone embarking on a new, intense relationship. They decide to reveal a significant secret, perhaps a difficult family history, a past legal entanglement, or an association that could complicate their present circumstances or even threaten their partner's safety. This isn't a casual disclosure, it carries real-world consequences. For Virginia, her past is directly linked to powerful, ruthless figures and international political movements. It's not just a youthful indiscretion, it's a connection to the very forces that are manipulating events at Chimneys. Her revelation is a testament to her growing trust in Anthony, as she understands the immense risk she takes by sharing such knowledge with him. She's essentially putting her safety, and potentially his, into his hands. Why does this matter so profoundly? This confession is a watershed moment for Virginia's character. Up until now, she's been presented as charming, resourceful, and perhaps a little enigmatic, a woman of the world with an air of sophisticated mystery. Her confession transforms her from a somewhat idealized figure into a deeply human, vulnerable individual, burdened by extraordinary circumstances. It intensifies the dramatic stakes of the narrative, revealing that her seemingly carefree exterior hides significant complexities and dangers that are far from resolved. Crucially, it serves as a litmus test for the foundation of her burgeoning relationship with Anthony. Will he recoil from the weight of her truth, or will this shared vulnerability draw him even closer? This moment is a powerful illustration of how genuine connection can be forged through shared honesty, even amidst the gravest of perils. It also serves as a masterful narrative device by Agatha Christie, fully immersing us, the listeners, into the intricate, high-stakes game being played. We now understand the profound personal cost behind the grand political machinations, rooting us more deeply in Virginia's journey. Moving to our second core point, Anthony's reassuring response and the solidification of their partnership. Conceptually, Anthony's reaction is a powerful demonstration of loyalty, trust, and unwavering commitment under immense pressure. It transcends mere emotional support, it's an active, conscious decision to stand by Virginia, not despite her revealed vulnerabilities and dangerous past, but perhaps even more so because of them. This scene showcases the evolution of their bond, moving beyond initial attraction or circumstantial alliance into a realm of shared purpose, mutual reliance, and profound personal conviction. He isn't just comforting her, he is signing up for the fight alongside her. W. Chapter 19, The Imposter. Welcome back, discerning listeners, to our continued journey through Agatha Christie's captivating world. In this crucial chapter 19, titled The Imposter, we delve into the treacherous waters of identity and the chilling realization that not everyone is who they claim to be. This chapter serves as a pivotal moment, shifting our narrative from general intrigue to a focused hunt for truth, forcing us to question the very fabric of appearances. The air at Chimneys, once thick with rumor and playful deception, now carries the distinct chill of outright fraud. Prepare to witness how a keen eye and a sharp mind can unravel the most carefully constructed charade. Our first deep dive reveals that Anthony finds discrepancies in Prince Michael's knowledge of Czechoslovakia. Conceptual explanation: an imposter can memorize facts, but they often struggle with the intangible nuances, the lived experiences, and the deep-seated cultural context only a true native or someone intimately familiar would possess. These are the small, almost imperceptible missteps that, when accumulated, paint a picture of inauthenticity. It's the critical difference between reciting a script and speaking from the heart of genuine experience. Practical example: imagine someone claiming to be from a specific town, yet they mispronounce a local landmark everyone knows, or they show no recognition of a beloved regional dish. Anthony, with his accidental proximity and growing insight, notices exactly these kinds of telling errors in Prince Michael's supposed knowledge of his homeland. Perhaps it's a casual reference to a Czechoslovakian custom that feels slightly off, or a lack of detail about a specific region that a true royal would surely have explored or been taught about. These aren't grand pronouncements, but quiet slip-ups in conversation that hint at a deeper void. Why it matters: these discrepancies are not merely trivia, they are cracks in a meticulously crafted facade. They matter because identity, especially that of a royal heir, is not just about lineage but also about cultural embeddedness, personal history, and a shared understanding of national heritage. A single misstep might be forgiven, but a pattern of them suggests a fundamental disconnect. It plants the first, crucial seed of doubt, transforming vague unease into concrete suspicion. This highlights how genuine knowledge is far more complex and harder to fake than superficial facts. The authenticity of a leader relies on an undeniable connection to their people and land. When that connection feels artificial, trust begins to crumble. Next, we explore how Anthony's observations lead him to suspect the man is an impostor posing as the heir. Conceptual explanation: the leap from noticing inconsistencies to actively suspecting imposture is significant. It's when individual data points cohere into a disturbing hypothesis. This isn't a single grand revelation, but a slow burn of accumulating evidence, each minor discrepancy adding weight to the unsettling notion. It signifies a shift from passive observation to active deduction, where the observer starts to consciously test their theory against further interactions and known facts. The mind pieces the puzzle, realizing the simplest explanation for all the oddities is that the person before them is not who they claim to be. Practical example: consider meeting a supposed world-renowned pianist. They speak eloquently about music theory, but when you subtly mention a very specific, challenging piece from their repertoire, they gloss over it or offer a vague comment, rather than a passionate insight. Anthony's suspicion grows similarly. He begins to see the prince not just as someone with gaps, but as someone actively avoiding deep conversation about Slovakia, perhaps deflecting specific inquiries, or reacting strangely to details a real prince would embrace. The initial deference gives way to a cold, hard assessment: this individual simply doesn't feel right, not in the profound, instinctive way a true connection to a homeland would. Chapter 20: The Midnight Watch. Chapter 20: The Midnight Watch. Welcome back, listeners, to our deep dive into The Secret of Chimneys. Chapter 20, The Midnight Watch, plunges us into palpable tension. We shift from deduction to decisive action. The estate transforms into a stage for nocturnal confrontation. Stakes are high, blending intrigue with reputations. Every shadow at Chimneys now promises a secret, every creak a revelation. This chapter culminates careful observation, propelling protagonists into proactive pursuit of truth. Our first critical point: Anthony and Battle set a trap in the library to catch the thief. This isn't a casual stakeout, it's a meticulously engineered operation, a strategic shift from passive defense to active engagement. Conceptually, this is a calculated risk, a direct challenge to persistent intrusions. Their objective is clear: apprehend the perpetrator in the act, eliminating all doubt. They create an environment where the thief, feeling secure, inadvertently exposes activities. It's a silent, psychological battle, forcing truth into the open through undeniable, first-hand observation, not just circumstantial evidence. The library, typically a sanctuary, is now a silent arena. For a practical understanding, imagine covert surveillance. Detectives strategically position themselves, using vantage points to monitor a target. Consider a valuable item as bait, drawing a suspect into a predetermined observation area. Historically, castle guards set patrols around sensitive zones. The essence is transforming a vulnerable spot into a controlled stage, where the observer holds an unseen advantage. This strategy minimizes ambiguity, aiming for definitive capture. Why this meticulous trap setting is crucial runs deep. It signals a profound narrative shift, moving beyond theory to direct confrontation. This act showcases characters' unwavering resolve, their courage to face danger head-on. Their success here dictates the mystery's direction, potentially unmasking a dangerous individual or deepening the enigma. The trap itself imposes immense psychological pressure. Subconscious awareness of observation might lead to error, a telltale hesitation, adding to this high-stakes game. It is a bold, necessary gamble. Next, we experience agonizing suspense as they wait in the dark, anticipating King Victor's move. This silent vigil is an extreme test of endurance and discipline. Conceptually, it embodies absolute patience, acutely heightened senses, and rigid suppression of natural impulses. Within the library's oppressive silence, every subtle sound, the house settling, distant wind, becomes magnified, potentially betraying their quarry's approach. The anticipation isn't just about an arrival, but the who and how. Christie's mention of King Victor's move ingeniously serves as narrative misdirection, elevating political stakes while keeping the listener in suspense. This silent watch underlines surveilance's deep psychological dimension, a hidden battle of wills between unseen observer and unaware observed, before direct confrontation. They become one with the shadows. A vivid illustration of this waiting is a hunter's long, motionless vigil, blended into environment, keenly attuned to every rustle, every snapped twig, for hours. Or a specialized operative, holding a fixed position for extended periods, suppressing every cough, every twitch. This demands extraordinary mental fortitude, a deliberate quietening of body and mind. It requires perception to stretch, to envelop surroundings, discerning minute disturbances. This is active, focused stillness, a readiness for intrusion both expected and utterly unpredictable. The profound significance of this agonizing waiting cannot be overstated. Narratively, it plunges the audience into characters' shared tension, allowing us to feel the heavy, expectant silence. It powerfully highlights Anthony and Battle's discipline, their unwavering nerve, and singular determination. The pervasive darkness itself transforms into a character, cloaking their presence and magnifying the mystery. Chapter 21, The Confrontation. Welcome back to our journey through the intricate world of The Secret of Chimneys. In this chapter, we arrive at a pivotal moment, a thrilling crescendo that has been building with every shadowy whisper and every unanswered question. We are on the precipice of Chapter 21, The Confrontation, a moment where long-held secrets are violently wrenched into the light, where the identity of a notorious figure is not merely hinted at, but brutally revealed. This isn't just another turning point, it's the seismic shift, the unmasking, the revelation of King Victor, a name synonymous with audacious crime and elusive genius. Get ready, because the quiet tension erupts into sheer pandemonium, leaving an indelible mark on everyone involved and changing the course of the narrative irrevocably. Our first critical point plunges us directly into the heart of the action. The trap is sprung, and a struggle ensues. Imagine the scene: careful preparations, patient waiting in the dark, every nerve on edge. Then, the almost imperceptible sound, the telltale sign that the quarry has taken the bait. A well-laid plan, meticulously orchestrated to catch a phantom, suddenly snaps into effect. It's the culmination of hours, perhaps days, of strategic thinking and anticipation. The moment the trap is sprung, the stillness of the night is shattered, replaced by the primal sounds of surprise, desperation, and conflict. A physical altercation erupts in the dimly lit manor, a struggle that is swift, brutal, and utterly unexpected in its ferocity. This isn't a mere scuffle, it's a battle for freedom against capture, a clash of wills and physical prowess where the stakes couldn't be higher. For a real-world parallel, think of a police SWAT team executing a precise raid, having studied every detail of a suspect's movements. They anticipate resistance, but the sheer unpredictability of human reaction in a moment of extreme pressure often leads to a chaotic burst of energy. A suspect, caught completely off guard, might lash out with an almost superhuman strength, fueled by adrenaline and the sheer terror of apprehension, turning a planned capture into a desperate, scrambling fight for survival. Why this matters goes far beyond the immediate adrenaline rush. This confrontation validates every suspicion, every investigative lead. It confirms the existence and the immediate presence of the elusive criminal. More profoundly, it highlights the immense personal risk taken by those daring to confront such a dangerous individual. The struggle isn't just physical, it's a symbolic clash between order and chaos, law and anarchy. It strips away the veneer of mystery and brings the danger into tangible, visceral reality. It's the moment the abstract threat becomes a terrifying, physical opponent, forever altering the perception of the criminal's power and determination. Next, we witness a daring escape. The thief escapes into the secret passage, but leaves a clue behind. The chaos of the struggle provides the perfect cover, a momentary window of opportunity for the cornered individual. With an intimate knowledge of Chimney's labyrinthine secrets, the thief vanishes with an almost supernatural swiftness, melting into the very architecture of the ancient house. One moment there, a tangible threat, the next, gone, leaving only the reverberations of their desperate flight. This escape isn't just about speed, it's about cunning, about exploiting hidden pathways known only to a select few, perhaps even built for such an exigency. Yet, even in the most frantic dash for freedom, even the most composed criminal can make a critical error. In the heat of their rapid disappearance, a small but vital piece of evidence is left behind, a tangible thread in the fabric of the mystery. Consider a historical example: tales of notorious jewel thieves who would meticulously plan their heists and escapes, often employing hidden tunnels or disguised exits. Yet, almost invariably, a minute detail, a dropped cuff link, a fragment of cloth snagged on a nail, a unique scent, would become the Chapter 22, The Manuscript Secret. Welcome back to our deep dive into the labyrinthine corridors of the Secret of Chimneys. We now arrive at Chapter 22, aptly titled The Manuscript Secret. This particular chapter serves as a pivotal turning point, where the intricate web of espionage, hidden identities, and political maneuvering begins to unravel with astonishing speed. The tension, which has been steadily building, culminates in a series of dramatic revelations that not only clarify past mysteries but also redefine the future trajectories of our beloved characters. It is here that the true weight of the political twist is felt, as long-held secrets burst into the light, forever altering the landscape of Chimneys and beyond. Get ready for a thrilling ride, as secrets long buried finally surface, shaking the very foundations of power. The recovery of the memoirs isn't merely a convenient plot device, it's the culmination of relentless pursuit and desperate concealment that has driven much of the novel's narrative. Conceptually, this signifies the retrieval of vital, clandestine information that carries immense power. Imagine these memoirs not just as old writings, but as a ticking time bomb of reputation-shattering secrets, political indiscretions, and potentially treasonous alliances. Their mere existence has cast a long shadow over Chimneys. The act of recovery brings them out of the shadows, making them tangible, real, and imminently dangerous to those they implicate. It is a moment of profound shift. Practically, envision this as the dramatic discovery of a long-lost diary from a high-ranking official, detailing clandestine meetings and illicit dealings, perhaps hidden within a false bottom of a dusty old chest or behind a loose brick in a forgotten cellar. The method of recovery itself often involves a critical piece of information, a deciphered clue, or a stroke of pure luck facilitated by someone's desperate confession or an accidental discovery. It's the critical juncture where the abstract threat transforms into a concrete document now in someone's possession. Why it matters: the recovery fundamentally shifts the power dynamics within the story. Before this, the memoirs were a theoretical menace, a spectral weapon. Now, they are a physical entity, a source of undeniable truth. This act resolves one of the central suspense elements, pushing the narrative forward from searching to reacting. It dictates the next steps for every character, forcing them to confront the revelations. The game board is reset, players must adapt to this new reality. The shadow play ends, and the harsh spotlight shines on the truth, demanding immediate action from all involved parties. With the memoirs finally in hand, the narrative's focus immediately narrows to their most crucial revelation, the precise location of the King's Diamond. For Anthony, reading this passage is akin to deciphering an ancient map, a moment of profound clarity amidst the lingering fog of mystery that has plagued him. Conceptually, this key passage isn't just any random paragraph, It's a meticulously crafted clue, perhaps embedded within seemingly innocuous descriptions or veiled in intricate allegory. It's designed to be understood only by those with specific knowledge, or the right person at the right time, when all other pieces of the puzzle have fallen into place. It connects broader political intrigue directly to tangible treasure, elevating stakes from mere reputation to immense wealth. As a practical example, consider a passage that cryptically describes a third eye watching over the sleeping king, which, when cross-referenced with architectural plans of chimneys or a local legend, points directly to a specific gargoyle on a forgotten tower, or a hidden cavity behind a particular portrait. Or perhaps it mentions where the shadow of the great elm touches the oldest stone at midday, a geographical marker that only makes sense after historical maps are consulted. The genius of such a clue lies in its inherent ambiguity to the uninitiated, yet its crystal clear direction to the one. Chapter 23, The Rose Garden. Welcome back to our deep dive into the compelling world of The Secret of Chimneys. We now turn our attention to Chapter 23, The Rose Garden, a moment of peak anticipation and a devastating twist that redefines the entire narrative. This is where the long pursuit of a hidden legacy, the relentless tracking of cryptic clues, finally culminates, or so it seems. The very air around Anthony feels thick with the promise of revelation, the weight of history pressing down as he approaches the fabled spot. It's the moment every treasure hunter dreams of, the climax of a meticulously executed plan, the edge of discovery. Our first crucial point delves into Anthony's successful navigation. Anthony follows the clues to the Rose Garden. Conceptually, this isn't just about reading a map, it's about the precision of successful clue interpretation, the ability to synthesize disparate pieces of information, to sift through potential misdirection, and to trust one's own deductions. It is the brilliant execution of intellectual prowess, turning abstract riddles into tangible directions. Think of it like an intricate escape room where various puzzles, seemingly unrelated, a coded message, an ancient symbol, a specific number, must all be combined and understood in their correct sequence to reveal a final, exact location. Each piece, once deciphered, becomes an undeniable stepping stone, leading with perfect accuracy. Why this matters profoundly is that it underscores the central theme of intellect over sheer force. Anthony's triumph here is not physical, it's a testament to his mental acuity, his patience, and his unwavering belief in the logical progression of the clues. It shows the listener that careful thought and meticulous attention to detail are paramount in uncovering hidden truths, validating the entire arduous journey that led him to this fragrant, yet fateful, destination. The sun shines brightly, but a shadow looms. This brings us to the chapter's heart-stopping second revelation. He digs at the specified spot but finds the container empty. The conceptual impact here is one of profound anticlimax, a cruel twist of fate where victory dissolves into void. It's the moment the rug is brutally pulled out from under the feet of expectation, replacing an anticipated reward with a chilling, unsettling absence. The empty container itself transforms into a stark symbol of shattered hopes, a silent mockery of the painstaking effort expended. Imagine meticulously following a complex recipe for a grand, celebratory meal, investing hours of effort and expensive ingredients, only to discover at the very last step that a crucial, irreplaceable component is missing from your pantry. Or completing a monumental, career-defining project perfectly, delivering it with pride, only to learn that the absolute deadline was missed by a single hour. The outcome, though technically achieved, is rendered meaningless, superseded by a more impactful failure. Why this matters immensely is that it introduces a pivotal, gut-wrenching twist, immediately shifting the entire narrative from a straightforward treasure hunt to a much more complex, far darker mystery. It instantly raises the stakes, adding layers of intrigue and suspicion. Who knew? When did they know? And most importantly, what now? The empty space forces a re-evaluation of everything, calling into question the entire validity of Anthony's pursuit and compelling him to confront a vastly different reality. The air grows cold. Finally, we arrive at the chilling conclusion Anthony draws. He realizes someone else solved the riddle first. This is the painful, inescapable realization of being outmaneuvered, of arriving devastatingly late to the party. It is the bitter taste of defeat, not caused by his own failure to solve the riddle, but by someone else's prior, unseen success. The silent testament of the empty container speaks volumes, narrating a rival's secret journey, a shadow quest that ran parallel to Anthony's own, ultimately surpassing it. Consider a fiercely competitive bidding war where you've. Chapter 24, Unmasking the Villain. Welcome back, listeners, to a pivotal moment in The Secret of Chimneys. We've navigated a labyrinth of intrigue, mistaken identities, and political machinations surrounding King Victor. Now, in Chapter 24, Unmasking the Villain, the stage is set for a dramatic revelation. This isn't just a plot twist, it's the culmination of every subtle clue, every suspicious glance. Prepare, for the truth is about to emerge, shattering assumptions and reordering everything we thought we knew about the conspiracy. The chapter ignites with Superintendent Battle's quintessential move, gathering all principal figures in Chimney's Grand Hall. This isn't merely about convenience, it's a masterclass in psychological control. Battle orchestrates a scene where every key player, from the seemingly innocent to the deeply implicated, is confined to a single, imposing location. This creates an atmosphere of inevitability, preventing retreat, or further conspiracy, and establishes the investigator's absolute authority. It's a deliberate tactic to amplify tension and prevent last-minute maneuvers by the guilty. Imagine the nervous glances, the subtle shifts in posture, the feigned nonchalance among characters like Bundle, Lomax, and the Duchess. Each person present is acutely aware that the moment of truth is at hand. Battle's methodical approach, his quiet command, effectively strips away their defenses, preparing them for the shock to come. This strategic gathering underscores the principle that transparency, even under duress, is often the precursor to justice, a classic Agatha Christie trope perfected here for maximum narrative impact. Battle's dramatic revelation of King Victor's true identity forms the absolute core of this chapter. This moment is a brilliant subversion of expectation, a classic Christie technique. The character we, and the others, perceived as a missing, perhaps dead, royal figure is unmasked as someone entirely different, someone who has been living among them all along. This reveal shatters preconceived notions, exposing the fragility of identity and the ease with which appearances can be manipulated for grander, often darker, schemes. It forces a complete re-evaluation of every interaction, every motivation up to this point. Visualize Battle delivering this bombshell with his characteristic understatement, yet immense impact. The gasps, the stunned silence, perhaps even an outright denial from certain parties, would fill the hall. The person believed to be King Victor is revealed to be someone unexpectedly familiar, a wolf in sheep's clothing whose true nature was hidden in plain sight. This confirms the elaborate conspiracy is far deeper and more personal than anyone imagined. This unmasking isn't merely a plot twist, it's the linchpin around which the entire Secret of Chimneys turns, validating Battle's painstaking investigation and proving that seemingly disparate events were intricately connected to this central deception. It shifts the entire foundation of the mystery. Finally, the implicating of the French governess and the prince adds a crucial, final layer to the conspiracy. This reveal demonstrates how the master villain expertly utilizes seemingly minor, unassuming characters as key conspirators, often exploiting their perceived innocence or subordinate roles. It highlights the pervasive nature of the deception, reaching into the very domestic fabric of Chimneys and involving individuals whose positions offer both access and a convenient cloak of invisibility. This further emphasizes that no one is above suspicion, and motives can be hidden beneath the most conventional exteriors. Battle would meticulously lay out the evidence, connecting the governess's actions and the prince's true involvement to the broader scheme. This might include recounting specific incidents, suspicious behaviors, or previously overlooked clues that now click into place. The shock of their involvement would likely be profound, especially for those who viewed them as harmless or merely incidental. Their true roles as active partici. Chapter 25, The Prince's Fate. Welcome, listeners, to our deep dive into Agatha Christie's The Secret of Chimneys, Chapter 25, The Prince's Fate. This pivotal chapter unravels deception, revealing stark truths about royal succession, identity theft, and a nation's future. It transforms resolving the royal line into a deeply personal drama. Our first major revelation is the true fate of Prince Michael. His existence fueled intrigue. Now, the painful truth: he died, not heroically, but tragically, perhaps in war or a street accident. Conceptually, this shatters the romantic ideal of a missing heir. He was gone, not hidden. Consider Tsar Nicholas II's son, Alexei, whose real fate was long obscured by imposter claims, until his tragic end became known. This matters profoundly, offering a definitive, grim answer, bringing closure to the relentless pursuit. It underscores life's fragility, even royal life. Narratively, it forces a re-evaluation of motivations. The search for Michael shifts from rescue to investigating his demise and name exploitation. Next, the imposter's inevitable apprehension. This individual, cleverly masquerading, is exposed and arrested. Conceptually, truth triumphs. Practically, imagine the audacity, planning, and constant fear. Historically, Perkin Warbeck, claiming to be a prince in the Tower in 15th century England, faced severe consequences for such deception, ultimately leading to his execution. In The Secret of Chimneys, this is paramount. It dismantles the immediate threat, bringing justice to those manipulated. It allows heroes to consolidate findings, providing concrete resolution. The imposter's arrest isn't just legal, it's the removal of a dangerous, living lie. Finally, and significantly for Christie's fictional world, Czechoslovakia's throne is left in question. With the real Prince Michael dead and the impostor unmasked, a vacuum is created. There is no clear, undisputed heir. Conceptually, this is a succession crisis, a common historical predicament leading to instability. The War of the Spanish Succession in the 18th century, triggered by King Charles II's childless death, caused continent-wide conflict over inheritance. This matters immensely. For Czechoslovakia, it means intense vulnerability. The nation's stability, alliances, and identity are precarious. For the reader, it injects a final, compelling layer of unresolved tension, even after murders are solved. It forces consideration of wider ramifications and a royal death's profound impact on an entire country. Sometimes, solving one problem reveals a deeper, systemic challenge. This chapter exemplifies narrative closure mixed with strategic ambiguity, prompting contemplation of international politics and human ambition. It highlights Christie's ability to weave personal drama with geopolitical intrigue, offering a satisfying yet thought-provoking conclusion to this story thread. Chapter 26, The Diamond Recovered. Welcome back, discerning listeners, to our deep dive into Agatha Christie's The Secret of Chimneys. We've traversed a labyrinth of intrigue, deception, and shadowy identities, all culminating in this pivotal moment. Chapter 26, The Diamond Recovered, isn't just a plot point, it's the dramatic unveiling, the final, dazzling puzzle piece slotting perfectly into place. The truth, often hidden in plain sight, is about to challenge everything we thought we knew, as the master of misdirection finally reveals his hand, redefining heroism and culpability in one breathtaking stroke. Anthony reveals that he had the diamond all along, having found it earlier. Anthony Cade delivers the chapter's first electrifying confession: the Koh-i-Noor, object of intense pursuit, has been in his possession the entire time. He found it earlier, tucked away where no one suspected, showcasing astute observation and strategic acumen. This is the ultimate narrative subversion. We, and the characters, suspected everyone but Anthony. His revelation reframes past interactions, transforming perceived coincidences into orchestrated moves within a deliberate strategy. Imagine a minor character revealing they've secretly held crucial information. Their earlier actions now gain profound significance. This twist elevates Anthony from bewildered associate to competent player, adding retrospective depth. It provides unexpected, logical resolution to the diamond's disappearance, leading us to true motives behind the Chimneys affair, solidifying Christie's masterful misdirection. He hands the Kohinoor over to Battle. Following his astonishing admission, Anthony produces the magnificent diamond, handing it directly to Superintendent Battle. This act is more than surrender, it's a symbolic transfer of responsibility, acknowledging legal authority, and shedding a burdensome secret. Conceptually, it represents the climax of the recovery phase, the game's end. Anthony's willingness to part confirms his true intentions for safety and justice, not personal gain. Think of a heist film protagonist recovering an artifact for noble reasons, then presenting it to authorities to expose the villain. This gesture solidifies the narrative's direction towards resolution, removing the primary MacGuffin. Focus shifts fully to human elements, motives and conspiracies. It's a definitive step towards closure, showcasing Anthony's trust in Battle, hinting at their deeper understanding. The guests are stunned by Anthony's deception, as Anthony places the diamond into Battle's palm. Profound shock grips the assembled guests. A hush falls, followed by disbelief and astonishment. Their shock stems not just from the diamond's recovery, but from Anthony's audacious, prolonged deception. An apparent ally, he secretly harbored the object everyone sought, profoundly challenging their perceptions. They feel utterly outmaneuvered. Conceptually, this highlights trust's fragility and perception's power. Guests formed opinions on manipulated data. Anthony's reveal shatters these constructs, forcing re-evaluation. Imagine friends discovering one secretly orchestrated complex events. This moment compels readers and characters to question superficial judgments, reconsider subtle cues. This collective bewilderment underscores the plot's genius, creating a memorable, impactful turning point. Chapter 27, Anthony's True Identity. Welcome back, listeners. We now delve into the monumental Chapter 27, Anthony's True Identity. Prepare for a moment in The Secret of Chimneys that redefines every established premise, where shadows give way to a dazzling, if startling, truth. This is the electrifying heart of our story, the royal reveal that shatters identities and pivots destinies. Superintendent Battle, with his characteristic calm and piercing intellect, delivers the undeniable, world-altering news. Anthony Cade is, in fact, the long-lost surviving royal heir, Prince Nicholas. Conceptually, This is the ultimate unmasking, the classic hidden prince trope elevated by Christie's masterful touch, steeped in layers of political intrigue and personal sacrifice. It's not merely a twist, it's the revelation upon which the entire narrative hinges, meticulously foreshadowed yet stunning in its directness. Practically, Battle presents the irrefutable evidence documents, converging witness accounts, perhaps even subtle physical confirmations known only to a select few, all meticulously laid out, leaving no room for doubt. The sheer audacity of Anthony's survival, his years spent in utter anonymity, is breathtaking. Why this matters runs deeper than mere plot mechanics. This isn't just about a lost heir, it's about the very stability of a nation, a missing piece of a political puzzle. His existence challenges established power structures, reignites dormant conflicts, and offers a precarious new path for a struggling kingdom. Anthony's true identity is the linchpin, the final piece that snaps the entire mystery into startling clarity. Anthony, confronted with the truth of his heritage, admits his lineage but immediately expresses a profound reluctance to assume the throne. Conceptually, this explores the immense, often crushing, burden of royalty. Unlike many romanticized tales, Anthony isn't eager to claim his birthright. He has found a measure of peace and a treasured anonymity. He prefers a life forged by his own hands to the gilded cage of a monarch. Practically, one can almost picture his face, etched with a complex mixture of acceptance and profound regret. He acknowledges the undeniable truth of his bloodline, but his words are laden with the weight of responsibility, the inevitable loss of personal freedom that accompanies a crown. He values his simple existence, his hard-won independence, above all else. Why this matters is crucial to humanizing the character. Anthony isn't merely a convenient plot device, he is a man grappling with a colossal decision. His reluctance adds immense depth to his character, making his eventual choices, whatever they may be, far more impactful and relatable. It elevates his struggle to a universal dilemma, the conflict between personal desire and overwhelming duty. The shock of the guests, particularly Lord Caterham, ripples through the room, a palpable wave of disbelief and reassessment. Conceptually, this demonstrates the immediate, visceral ripple effect of such monumental news. A room full of society's elite, men and women of influence and carefully maintained composure, are suddenly confronted with a truth that utterly redefines their political landscape and fundamentally alters their personal perceptions. Practically, you can almost hear the collective gasp, the hushed, urgent whispers, the wide eyes darting frantically between Battle, a stoic Anthony, and each other. Lord Caterham, a man steeped in tradition, order, and the quiet guardianship of Chimney's myriad secrets, is perhaps the most profoundly affected. His worldview, his loyalties, even his understanding of his own history and role, are dramatically shaken. His shock is a powerful window into the broader societal upheaval this revelation promises. Why this matters is simple: their collective reactions validate the sheer magnitude of the revelation. It grounds the extraordinary, almost fantastical, element of the hidden prince in believable, raw human emotion. Caterham's specific, deeply personal reaction, rooted in his long history and character, highlights. Chapter 28, Tying Up Loose Ends. Welcome back to The Secret of Chimneys. Chapter 28, Tying Up Loose Ends, marks the dramatic culmination. Superintendent Battle reveals the full, astonishing narrative. Every stray thread, every whispered secret, every inconsistency finally finds its rightful place, illuminating the clear path to truth and justice. Battle's deduction of Anthony Cade's true identity is a masterclass in observational reasoning. He focused not just on what was present, but crucially, on what was absent, the lack of genuine fear, the ease with which Anthony navigated Chimneys. He possessed an uncanny familiarity with the estate's secrets, which clearly linked him to Prince Michael and the overarching political conspiracy. This critical analysis of subtle behavioral cues and the careful alignment of minor details revealed a profound underlying deception. Why this matters? It underscores how often truth hides not in grand pronouncements, but in overlooked inconsistencies, unraveling a core deception at the narrative's very heart, showcasing Battle's genius in seeing beyond the obvious. Next, the true motives for the murders are finally clarified. These weren't isolated acts of passion, but calculated maneuvers within a dangerous game of political ambition, personal greed, and blackmail. For example, the killings at Chimneys aimed to silence inconvenient truths, remove obstacles to power, and secure vast financial or political advantages for the conspirators. This profound revelation illustrates how seemingly random acts of violence are often deeply entrenched in systematic, far-reaching conspiracies. It exposes the ruthless lengths individuals will go to protect power and secrets, shattering any illusion of simple criminality and highlighting the intricate layers of human depravity. Finally, the remaining conspirators are taken into custody, bringing definitive closure. This isn't merely about arrests, it's the meticulous re-establishment of order from chaos, severing malignant threads from the social fabric. The precise apprehension of those who conspired ensures the immediate cessation of their dangerous machinations, preventing further harm or political instability. Why this matters? It signifies the triumph of justice, the restoration of peace. Even complex webs of deceit are untangled, and accountability is served, offering a profound sense of finality to this thrilling mystery. Chapter 29, A Decision Made. Welcome back, listeners. We now arrive at a pivotal moment, a chapter aptly titled A Decision Made, where the very fabric of identity and destiny hangs precariously in the balance. This is where the grand narrative of love versus duty finds its most profound expression, forcing our protagonist to confront a choice that will forever alter his path, and indeed, the course of a nation. Imagine standing at a crossroads, one path shimmering with personal freedom and the other burdened by the immense weight of an ancestral crown. Such is the breathtaking dilemma facing Anthony. First, let's delve into Anthony's monumental choice between embracing a throne and pursuing a life of unburdened freedom. Conceptually, this explores the age-old conflict between public obligation and private desire. It's the ultimate test of self-sacrifice against personal fulfillment. Picture a monarch whose every breath is legislated, whose every action scrutinized, whose very being is a symbol rather than an individual. That is the life of the throne. The alternative is a quiet existence, where one dictates their own mornings, where love can flourish unhindered by statecraft, where identity is forged by choice, not birthright. A powerful real-world parallel immediately springs to mind: King Edward VIII. He chose, famously, to abdicate the British throne for the woman he loved, Wallis Simpson, prioritizing his personal happiness over the immense responsibility of kingship. He surrendered the crown, the empire, and the weight of history for a life lived on his own terms. Why does this matter so deeply? Because it forces us to question the very definition of a meaningful life. Is true meaning found in the selfless service of an inherited role, or in the courageous pursuit of authentic individual happiness? Anthony's struggle encapsulates this universal human query. Next, we see him discussing his future, this monumental decision, with Virginia. This isn't merely a casual conversation, it's an intimate negotiation of two intertwined destinies. Conceptually, this highlights how major life decisions, especially those of such magnitude, inevitably ripple through our closest relationships. It's about aligning individual aspirations with shared futures, recognizing that a decision for one is a decision for two. Practically, consider any couple facing a relocation for a career opportunity, or a soldier's spouse contemplating the sacrifices of military life. Every choice has consequences for the partnership. Anthony's dialogue with Virginia isn't just about his future, it's about their future, a shared canvas waiting for new strokes. Why does this profound interaction matter? Because it underscores the human need for connection, for validation, for a partner to share the burdens and joys of life's most significant junctures. It emphasizes that even the most powerful individual choices are rarely made in isolation, and the impact on love can be as defining as the decision itself. Finally, the chapter culminates in his decision to abdicate his claim, paving the way for a republic or another heir. This is a profound political act, not just a personal one. Conceptually, abdication is the ultimate relinquishing of power, a voluntary stepping away from a position of immense authority. It speaks to the principles of succession, legitimacy, and the very structure of governance. A practical example could be various historical instances of monarchs or leaders choosing to step down, sometimes to avoid civil war, sometimes due to ill health, or in rare cases, to facilitate a more modern system of governance. While King Edward VIII's abdication was personal, others, like the abdication of Tsar Nicholas II of Russia, had colossal political repercussions, leading to monumental shifts in national identity. Why does this matter so profoundly in our story? Because Anthony's abdication isn't just a personal escape, it represents a conscious choice about the future of a nation. It's about stability, about choosing a path that he believes serves the greater good, even if that. Chapter 30, Conclusion. Welcome, listeners, to Chapter 30, Conclusion of The Secret of Chimneys. The final curtain falls, unveiling resolutions and personal destinies. A well-earned happily ever after awaits. Anthony proposes to Virginia, she accepts. This signals genuine connections triumph over intrigue. Their subtle bond, forged in chaos, becomes tangible. It grounds the thriller, offering emotional closure, fulfilling a key character arc, proving love's power against espionage. Lord Caterham finds profound relief as peace returns to Chimneys. This embodies the universal yearning for normalcy. His estate, a former spy nexus, reverts to tranquil home. It highlights peace reclaiming sanctuary from turmoil, mirroring his desire for simplicity. Finally, a humorous, ironic note on politics' enduring burden. Witty reminder, statecraft's wheels don't halt. Power struggles, public responsibilities endure. This quintessential Christie touch offers cynical yet amusing commentary on power's ceaseless demands, leaving us with a knowing smile. 7-Day Action Plan. Welcome, Truth Seeker. This Chimneys plan sharpens your inner detective. Master observation, deduction, unlocking profound daily awareness. Day 1, Observation. Actively see. Observe public space 15 minutes, noting details. Gathers raw data for insight. Day 2, Deduction. Pick an object in your home, trace its history backwards. Hones connecting facts, building narratives from clues. Day 3, Memory Palace. Practice memorizing 10 items using vivid visualization. Strengthens recall, vital for retaining information. Day 4, Reading People. Observe body language in conversations for discomfort or excitement. Reveals unspoken truths, enhances understanding. Day 5, Critical Thinking. Take a news headline. Look for the source behind the story. Develops skepticism, protecting from misinformation. Day 6, Situational Awareness. Entering a new room, identify all exits and hazards. This is proactive preparedness, never caught off guard. Day 7, The Review. Reflect and journal how increased awareness changed interactions. Consolidates learning, cementing sharper individual skill. Summary. Welcome, listeners. As our journey through Chimneys concludes, let's revisit the pivotal events and profound insights. This summary illuminates Christie's intricate design. First, Anthony Cade's remarkable journey. He transforms from adventurer to Prince Michael of Herzos, the true royal heir. This highlights how identity can be hidden, awaiting revelation. A practical example, discovering a long-lost family history, altering self-perception. This matters, revealing destiny's unexpected paths and true self-discovery. Next, the KOHI Northep's resolution and King Victor's capture. This unravels espionage and murder. Meticulous detective work exposes conspirators, recovering the gem. Consider a cold case solved through persistent investigation. This matters profoundly, demonstrating truth's triumph over deception, restoring order and justice. Finally, the central theme: things are rarely what they seem. Christie shows appearances are misleading, characters hold secrets. An innocent secretary might be a spy. This urges critical thinking, to look beyond the obvious. Like analyzing a surface problem to find its deeper cause. This matters immensely, cultivating discernment, fostering nuanced perception, preventing hasty judgments. We learn to dig for truth. Thank you for listening to this audiobook. If you found value, meaning, or inspiration in this journey, please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you won't miss the next chapter. Your support helps us bring more timeless classics to life. See you in the next reading.